This segment of Packard Pokes At was made possible by patrons of the show and viewers like you. Please go to patreon.com/PackardPokesAt to help support the show. Thank you. Recently, Pat Robertson has come out and saying some crazy-ass shit like he always does. Apparently, this little lady wrote into the show asking for advice about some Voodoo keychain dolls. And let's hear what he had to say.
All right, Bev says, I'm a 60-year-old widow. I lost my beloved 47-year-old husband to cancer in November of 2012. Afterwards, the only job I was able to get was a part-time job at a local store. Recently, the store introduced Voodoo doll keychains, each with its own special powers. I thought about refusing to wait on a customer who was purchasing them and just ask a coworker to do it, but I do need the job. Any suggestions? And I'm making too much out of this.
No, you're not. God can give you another job. There are many jobs. There are people looking for good employees, for people who are intelligent and hardworking and loyal and all the rest of it. You don't have to put up with that. You don't want to give your heart over to voodoo or magic arts. If they're doing a voodoo doll, the next thing you know, they'll be having little dollies you put pins in and bring down curses on them. You never know what's next. Why should you have to do that? I mean, God can give you a job. I know it'll be painful, but God can give you a job. And hone your skills before you jump. Make sure you got everything in order, and possibly you can line up a job before you quit that one.
Fucking A. First off, the first obvious part there is like, she's a 6-year-old widow. Her husband was 47. He didn't catch on to that. She's robbing the cradle there. She was a gilf, man. Just saying,
Cougar.
She's a cougar. Wow. She got it going on. But to his advice, he's fucking retarded. And yes, you are making a big deal out of this lady. I know she'll never see this, but yes, you're making a big deal out of nothing, because you're just swapping one fictitious belief for another. It doesn't really matter. If someone came in buying a cross or whatever, you would probably think nothing of it. But because your religion says that you're selling another belief system, then you think that these, I don't know, whatever is going to come and attack you, I guess. There's been instances like this where a lady I think it was in New York City several years ago. She did not want to sell certain items because of her religion, and it went to court. And as I recall, the courts backed the business, saying, yeah, this is your job. You get hired to sell products. That's what this lady was doing. She was selling products at a store. Stores will add and subtract products all the time. It doesn't matter what they are. I mean, if your job is to sell those products that the store sells, you're under obligation to do that. I mean, if they will make certain accommodations for you for certain items, obviously, depending on the store. In some cases, they may not. They just may say, hey, if you're not going to do your job, there's the door. Hit the bricks. Connie, your thoughts?
But prayer works.
Yeah, but prayer works, yeah.
And what gets me about this whole thing is Pat Robertson differentiated between voodoo dolls and dolls that you might start to stick pins in and curse people. I'm like, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
You need to go recharge your batteries, Pat. But and voodoo can be used for good. I mean, obviously, it's still just imaginary thinking, but it can be used for healings and all kinds of other things. We just generally associate it with cursing people, right?
Yeah.
But
there's the dark voodoo and the light voodoo. I mean, according to their beliefs. But I mean, it's all bullshit. It doesn't really matter. It's the same thing. You can say, yeah, it doesn't really matter. You can say, okay, I'm going to make sure that if I stick a pin in you, you're going to get appendicitis, or I'm going to stick a pin in here and take away your headache. I mean, it's the same shit.
Well, why didn't Pat Robertson advise her to go in there and use the power of the Holy Spirit and bind the voodoo dolls so that the evil spirits within the voodoo dolls couldn't do their work. He does that all the time on his goddamn show.
Probably because he knows if
maybe
voodoo is stronger than his religion, and he's like, you can't do that because it'll backfire and it'll bounce back off you.
Well, if you hold in a fart too long, it's got to go somewhere.
True enough, yeah.
So, tempest in a teapot, Pat.
Quick comment from Dawkins Dog. Thank you for your comment, Dawkins. He says, God gave her the job where she is. She's paid to do it, so fucking do it. I agree. I fucking agree with that. I absolutely 100% agree with that. And I saw this on another channel. They were talking about something along those lines. And this person was saying, yeah, these libertards, people who are liberals are going to say, well, yeah, you should not let her make her do that. It's like, I'm a fucking liberal. And I say, fucking do your goddamn job. You're hired to do a goddamn job, fucking do it. Oscar, your thoughts?
Well, my thought is about, Pat's statement there.
Yes.
If God is unable to provide millions and millions of people with food or water, or even able to keep her husband alive in fucking America, how the fuck is he gonna give her a job?
Right.
What's his priorities?
I know.
Fulfilling Jesus' words where he says, the poor you will have with you always. He needs more in those ranks. Pat said it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
So, he knows that.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. I am still surprised that Pat didn't pick up on the whole she's 60, he died when he was 47, and it was like, that means when they were together before he died, since it was like several years prior, that means she was like in her late 50s, and he was, in that area. I mean, it's about a 10-year time span, but it's usually the guy that's older and not the woman in most cases. So I was like, okay. I didn't catch that first time I saw it. It's like, wait a minute here.
Yeah, I bet she had some real tricks up her sleeve.
Uh-huh.
I shouldn't have some tricks now, and it was legal. I guess you would not be unemployed.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh. No, it was
yeah,
really
but I
bad.
bet she was real nasty, though. I mean, to achieve that, I bet she did the hot slug and everything.
Right.
She's a man trap.
For Jesus, of course.
Of course. She's saving them.
Right now, the in this market, it's actually an employee's market because it's usually the last several years it's been an employer's market where they could say, yeah, I don't like you, I'm not going to hire you for whatever reason. But now it's an employee's market. Businesses everywhere are like saying, okay, hey, we'll just take you. It doesn't matter what it is. So the fact is that he gave this advice to go find another job is not a very risky move for her. She could probably go down the street to the Safeway or whatever and get another job in a heartbeat.
Yeah, if she has a heartbeat, that is.
Yeah, she's
Unlike Pat.
Yeah, Pat hasn't had a heartbeat in 20 years.
Sorry, I talked over the top of you there.